Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video and another match preview for you guys. The penultimate one before the international break. Chelsea versus Copenhagen. This is a fixture that was really meant to be killed off in Denmark, but in typical Chelsea fashion, we had to make it a little bit more difficult for ourselves. So there is still all to play for in this tie. So we're going to touch on everything regarding Chelsea, Copenhagen, and also the regular news surrounding Chelsea Football Club as well, because we've had some news on Enzo Fernandez, on Raheem Sterling as well. And I'm going to start on the Sterling situation because it feels like we've got a bit of a briefing that's just dropped from Sterling and his agents. So why isn't this thing working, for goodness sakes? There we are. All right, cool. So Raheem Sterling nearly tried to sue Chelsea from the looks of things. And this article was brought out recently talking about Raheem Sterling's season at Arsenal and like how everything's just kind of fell off for him over the last couple of months. Manchester United wants him as a big brother for Rashford, but PSR rules got in the way. He apparently rushed himself back while injured during Saka's injury, all for nothing, because he still didn't get any game time. And when he did, he didn't prove anything anyway. But back to the Chelsea situation, we got a little snippet that said he made the move to Arsenal. He was desperate to find the way out of Chelsea after being banished by Enzo Maresca and denied access to first-team facilities. And it is understood that the situation got so bad that the PFA was called in, as well as employment lawyers. And here's the maddest thing. I've actually seen Chelsea fans a bit sympathetic about this situation. Poor Sterling, the way we treat Chelsea players at Chelsea isn't good enough at all. But this is barbaric treatment and all of this crap. First off, this guy is on what, 325k a week? And the poor guy had to reduce it to 200k a week and take a 100k a week split from both clubs. Tough times in this cost of living for Raheem Sterling. You lot will do anything to start moaning about Clearlake. I swear down. Like, we already know there's a lot to moan about with this ownership, but the treatment of Raheem Sterling, of all people, is not that one. How have people forgotten that this is the same guy that threw out a statement as soon as the lineup dropped for our first match day of the season against Man City just because he wasn't involved in the squad? Oh no, we weren't allowed to use the facilities. He had to train with the youth. You know what that's called? The bomb squad. You think we're the only club that's done it before? When a player isn't a part of a manager's plans, why does he need to train with that manager? Why? A clue. He doesn't. He doesn't need to at all. So this whole sympathy BS about Raheem Sterling and this situation can get in the bin, just like Raheem Sterling. This is a guy who has been booted out of the squad for good reason because he's not good enough. And if you need a better example of that, look what they're doing with Arsenal. Because this guy hasn't started a game since Leicester City away, and he was the worst player on the pitch in that game. He has consistently been the worst player on the pitch for them. So why feel sorry for this guy? He is a well-played, washed player that is still on our books for the next 2 seasons after this season is over. Get in the bin. Get in the bin. Now, on to the next bit of news. There was some Enzo news, but it's more just Bobby Vincent just deading off any potential talks with Real Madrid, because there was some rumors going around yesterday about Enzo Fernandez, that Real Madrid wanted to sign him, and Chelsea have set their price at 80 million euros, which would be about 75 million pounds. First off, we would not have him that low of a price tag, especially with the season that he's having. We would probably ask for our money back. And also, second of all, like, caught offside as a source in 2025. Please have shame. Please have shame. But Bobby Vincent has come out and just put to bed any of those rumors, saying Chelsea have no intention of selling Enzo Fernandez in the summer, despite Real Madrid links. He's seen as an integral part of the Blues' future, and sources close to Stamford Bridge say he will be a Chelsea player for many years to come. So, We can put that rumor out to dry then, because why would we sell one of our best players this season? And it's mad that I'm even saying that about Enzo, because I was very critical of him at the start of the campaign. His performances were not good enough at all. Like, he didn't look, his passing wasn't looking good. He wasn't good defensively. Now I've seen an improvement on nearly every facet of his game. Like, this Enzo Fernandez, for the first time in his Chelsea career, is starting to look like the player that we spent that money on. So why would we let go of him? Talk about a sign that Clearlake weren't serious if they got rid of Enzo Fernandez, but that's not happening, thank goodness. And now we can move on from all the BS news articles to the Chelsea versus Copenhagen preview. So obviously we're welcoming Copenhagen back to the bridge, where the tie remains in control, but not consolidated, because we had to give up a stupid set piece and we had to manage it terribly. So it's game on back at Stamford Bridge. One awfully defended set piece is the difference between us having this game written off and also us having to kill it off. Now, we need to win this game, and we need to win it early. Ideally, getting a quick goal would allow us to take off key players at half-time with Arsenal away in mind. And for those that are still playing throughout the 90 minutes, it means we can just dictate the flow of the game, which we're really good at, and see it through to the end of the match. Like, I'll be so real with you guys. For everybody complaining about how boring the game was on Sunday, I want this game to be even more boring. I want an early goal and for us to just play sideways and backwards football for the remainder of the game. I do not want to be entertained. I just want to see a W. That is it. You go get me some early goals and I am fine. I don't care past that, because I expect us to be able to see through Copenhagen, just bag a goal or two, and then they're going to be low in confidence. And for us, it will just be about maintaining possession, which we've shown that we're good at. Now, we also have a perfect 100% record in the UCL, and I do want to maintain that. Oh, and we've only lost once at home since the opening day anyway, being that Fulham game on Boxing Day. So our home record shouldn't be anything to worry about. It's just more about, like, who we're going to set up in the lineup. Because now with Malo Gusto likely out, we don't have any left-back alternative. So it might have to be a case of Cucurella or Reece James, potentially. But other than that, I'd like to see a very similar team to the squads that played last Thursday. Because we already know what we're dealing with Copenhagen. We know that they're probably going to enter this game a bit more defensive. Well, a bit as defensive as they was in the last match. Solely because they probably know we want to get an early goal and kill this off too. So their aim will be to try and frustrate us and just try and stay in the game, and then maybe capitalize on some mistakes in the second half. Now, away from the UCL, Copenhagen still ain't been great. I think they've only won 2 out of their last 7 league games, and they've drawn back-to-back league matches as well. So form and quality isn't on their side. So for Chelsea, please just get the early goal and just kill things off. So for my predicted lineup, or the lineup that I would like to see, this is the squad that I have. So Philip Jorgensen starting for me again, because, like, look, I'm just done with seeing Robert Sanchez. And yes, I want him to start on Thursday and on Sunday. Maresca showed me that he could do that with Sanchez last week, so we can do this with Jorgensen for this week. Now, in terms of the defense, Cucurella will obviously invert off the left-hand side, or maybe Reece James. I'm thinking, like, maybe do one or the other, because James is probably the only other person that can play on the left-hand side. And we already know him being on the left means he doesn't have to do as much leg work as he would on the right-hand side, because we're not expecting him to overlap. So either Cucurella or James for me, or interchange them between halves. Badiashile and Chalobah go back into the lineup for this game. Josh Achimpong for me will get a start on the right. Enzo Fernandez starts in the midfield, again, because I want to kill the game off early, and he was the big changing point for us in the last fixture. So for me, Enzo would start the first half. Ideally, we score early, and then we bring Caicedo on for the second half. Now, the attacking lineup is just basically the same bar Sancho going into the lineup over Nkunku for me, because again, I wasn't happy with Nkunku's performance on Sunday. Plus, I want to see what Sancho and Palmer can do for me on the right-hand side with a few more games, because I do think there's a possibility for a very good link-up on that right-hand side between the pair of them. Dewsbury Hall's just in there because I don't really have any other options except maybe Nkunku. So either him or Nkunku in that 10 position. And Shim Waker up front because why not? It's not like you got any opportunity to show yourself in the last game. So there you are. There you are. So yeah, that would be my lineup. Now, in terms of what Enzo Maresca said, has he got any decent quotes for us? He said Jackson and Noni are back after the international break. Lavia is much better, so hopefully we see him in the Arsenal game. Not in the Conference League squad, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately for us. We need to keep him as fit as possible. Enzo was asked about the Arsenal game on Sunday and what takes priority. And Maresca said something very similar to last week, where he said the priority is tomorrow because it's the next one and the most important one. And it's just we're focusing on getting through against Copenhagen. So it's a very similar mindset to what we saw before the Leicester game. Because he was asked the same thing about starting Caicedo when he's on a yellow card. I agree with it. The focus should be on what's in front of us and absolutely nothing more than that. Cole Palmer, Reece James, and Nkunku have had their first sessions. So maybe we don't see Palmer start. Or Reece. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. They had some problems today. Today they are all better. Yeah, we can only see 45 minutes from either of them if that's the case, especially Reece. On the Copenhagen test, he said, I'm surprised because I watched them many games. They're off the ball defending with a line of 4, and against us, they were a line of 5. The reason why we were surprised is because we had to adapt. We will see tomorrow how they will be. Now, I do expect them to set up pretty similarly, just because they know we want to kill the game off early, and one early goal is basically curtains for Copenhagen's hopes. Right now, they have a chance. A very slim chance, but they have a chance. They get the opening goal. It's 2-2 on aggregate. Anything can happen at that point. Anything. So, yeah, I'd expect something similar from Copenhagen. I don't think they're going to go like all guns blazing from the first minute because you're going to do that against us. We like counter-attacking. We like being aggressive. They know that, so I don't expect to see that. But big up to all you, man, that's locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Big up to every single one of you. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for the watch along. Up the Chelsea.